Hi, Bryce. Mr. Parrish here. I want to take a few minutes to go over the identity paragraph submission, maybe give you a few ideas of things to think about going forward. First of all, you get off to a really good start in the class here. I think in a lot of ways you fulfill the assignment very well. You develop your ideas with some interesting details, examples, stuff like that. The hard part of writing, really, most of what I really have on the screen here are things that you can clean up in subsequent drafts. Up in format, this is just the idea that MLA style requires the papers to look the same, basically. I often describe this in class as MLA is the softball uniform for our team, and you want to be in uniform. So you begin with your name, my name, the course, the date, following that MLA style. You can use the template that is in Moodle or any of the examples. Really, most of the examples that I provide in the class as the sample student papers. Certainly for titles, we capitalize in MLA style, so frustrated, ramblings, new, and student would be capitalized. Of and a as prepositions and articles aren't. There's an explanation of that if you want more detail in the little seagull. I also made the comment here that title needs work in the sense that your title, the frustrated part is really what I couldn't connect to what you wrote. I didn't see any frustration at all in the paragraph you wrote. So this may be more your experience of writing the paper than indicating anything about the topic. And that's what I really want to say is your title is the first opportunity to get the reader on board with what you're trying to say. This is certainly not what you're trying to say. This was neither rambling nor any evidence of frustrated. I think you have a pretty clear idea of who you are in life and what you want to do. So that's probably the idea that the title should get at. Yeah, I mean, I kind of get this idea. This kind of works as an opening. I would say that if you think about the strategies they give us in chapter 1 of They Say, I Say, which is the sense of, this is what a lot of people think identity is. Maybe it's something you're born with, and maybe what you've figured out is that we move from one identity to another in life. That's kind of what they're currently doing and aspire to be is, different stage of your life, maybe moving from one identity to another is an idea you could be pushing against. And over here, I'm making a reminder to indent. Hit tab and move the first line over for a paragraph. Beyond that, I'm not going to say a whole lot more. I think you fill this out pretty well, especially the second and the third sections are really, really well done. In the sense that lifelong learner, aspiring mental health counselor, those are very clear identities. I kind of felt like the Spanish example here was both the German and the Spanish are really good. I understand exactly what you mean. Working in landscaping, you must work with a lot of native Spanish speakers. So maybe an example of a word or expression that you've picked up along the way and used would really flesh this out. Because I'm left kind of wondering, you're not talking about Spanish literature here. So what are the words or phrases that you picked up in that particular case? Just the punctuation rule here. Let's see what we've got. You've got a phrase here that sort of interrupts your sentence. And if you go into the feedback studio and turn it in, you've accessed where I am now by going back to the original assignment. There's a little blue pencil that you click on, and it takes you to what Turnitin calls the feedback studio. At this particular point, you can click on these, and it opens them up and gives an explanation of what the mark is about. So what's happening here is that I have several friends with mental health issues, and watching them and many others, I think if you're going to have a comma here, you need a comma here because you're interrupting the flow of the sentence. This is actually one of those cases where you need the second sentence because you use the second comma because you used the first one. I think if you'd have written watching them and many others struggle, then you wouldn't need any commas. But it's one of those deals where you're either you don't need a comma, or this comma is interrupting the main flow, and that second comma indicates that we're back back in the sentence. I call them speed bumps, really. This first one's a speed bump, and the second speed bump kind of gets us back. So it's a matter of reading it this way. Friends with mental health issues and watching them and many others watching them and many others, or watching them and many others struggle. So whatever you're trying to say, that's what the commas kind of modulate. The one, revision I think is maybe connecting this idea of foreman. And actually, I was going to make that comment, but then when I read about it, I sort of see what you're probably doing is the foreman isn't so much this identity. It's the moving from foreman to mental health counselor, I think, is what you're trying to get. So I think when I read the paragraph, maybe the second time, this made more sense than my original read through. Originally, I'll just say, I was thinking that the better idea that might develop is, landscaper might be the better idea. But I think you are sort of describing your position as more the boss, I think, maybe, than the person doing the work. So I decided to back off of that. So grades 23 of 25. You got 9 of 10 for the organization and development. I think 4 out of 5 for conventions. 5 for 5 for voice. Certainly the tone, the choice of words is appropriate to the assignment. And overall 5 for 5 for the sentence fluency. I think you write good sentences, and you're able to connect them. You have that connective words like mostly, also, lastly. You're moving from idea to idea, so no issues there. So like I said, I hope I'm encouraged. I hope you are, and I think you'll do. There's certainly no reason you shouldn't do very well in the class. If there's any way I can help you in the future, feel free to reach out to me. And if you would, send me an email that you've received this, that you were able to access the video, and that the comments made some sense. Maybe the frustrated ramblings of your English instructor. So take care, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon. Bye.